Thank you for tuning in to the Second Shift Newswire. Today we sent our lower deck correspondent Ducklin Amaros to the Ramble to visit the second home for wayward youth, the only non-profit orphanage in the lower decks. Duck, give us the scoop.
Thank you, Barnaby. I'm here with the orphanage director, Ithmai of the Second Arm.
Ithmai.
Well, Ithmai, why don't you tell us about the orphanage? Why run it, and why not put those little mouth breathers to work?
Well, we who worship the Mother Weaver give our lives to one of 8 virtues. I pledged myself to the second arm, the virtue of gentleness. I found it to be my life calling to preach gentleness into the lives of recent children who have no homes of their own.
Delightful. I hear you take in children from all over the lower decks, not just fellow Edith Kai. Why is that?
As I am sure you can see, we don't actually have that many Edith Kai children here. Our Endlin and Femlin are scarcer than they once were. But there are many children who need a home, and we are happy to provide here.
The what? And fem what?
You do not know of Endlin and Femlin? Whatever, deck bastards, blisters. Let us just go toward the home.
Oh, we don't want to go in. It's dark and the children sad. But tell us about this other stuff. We have wire time to fill.
It is a simple thing.
I promise you, our listeners don't already know.
Ah, Mother Weaver. Of the Edith Kai, there are not male and female like most other species have. We have 3 sexes. Of those there are Endlin, Femlin, and simply Lin. I am Lin. Lin are what most of us are. Lin cannot reproduce. Only Endlin and Femlin can reproduce. There are many Lin, not many Femlin, and Endlin are rare. Both Femlin and Endlin are more rare to our people now. Fewer born each generation. So fewer Edith Kai children, yes?
Oh, shucks. But there's so many of you.
So many of us.
Edith Kai.
Not so many as there were. We only have thousands in each generation. There were once millions. Soon there will be hundreds. Then there will be tens. Then none. And then our remaining fertilized eggs will be sent into the void to find their new second home. Such is our way.
That's delightful. I think we're about out of time. Back to you, Barnaby.
But we talked nothing of the children.
The Rolling Waves present The Drifting City.
Last time on,
Last time on Morin's no good, terrible, very bad day.
Exactly. Which ended at the foot of a iron spiral staircase leading up into a warehouse in the lower decks. At the bottom of said staircase are a group of 3 brigs, the center of which stands taller, at least a head taller, than the other Cirxian elven woman, who is also a younger brig, and then substantially taller than the dwarven man, who is the third, stands who Rook would recognize as Lieutenant Hofson, and who Morin would immediately recognize as the brig that Enix threw a rock at and hit square in the face, breaking his nose and sending the brigs on a chase after him, wherein you then went and freed your friend Ika from being arrested and then went into the sewers. Clearly, the Briggs did not take kindly to that situation. And I should say of Lieutenant Hobson, he is a man typed in bold case letters upon the world. He is all sharp angles and broad strokes. He looks, for all intents and purposes, like a child might picture a brigadier when you first told them about them. A figure who grows unbelievably wide as he grows tall, like one of the tenements in the lower decks looming over a fragile street. Rook, again, you recognize him as he steps up in front of your group. And you know from your previous interaction with him that he is an imposing man for an imposing time. He looks out of all of you, his bright blonde hair barely peeking out from beneath his tri-corner hat. And after just a moment of accusingly addressing Morin, turns to you, Rook, eyes snapping to you with laser focus. Detective Rook!
Lieutenant Hobson?
What are you doing associating with this rabble?
I'm sorry, define what you mean by this rabble.
The floater you have there.
Surely you must be mistaken. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Clearly you don't know, but earlier this very day, that one and her apprentice assaulted me and my officers, leading to this, motioning towards his broken nose and the blood on his face, and leading to the escape of a criminal.
Okay, well, one, I don't know anything about that. I've been kind of walking through the street for a little while, and then I found myself in these here caverns. Along with that, I know it may be a bit of an issue. You know, I'm sure it's hard to differentiate from air genasi to air genasi, but last I checked, because I hear things, just last I checked, wasn't the person that you were going after up topside horribly injured and barely able to walk? I'm pretty sure she's walking fine, and I don't see any visible injuries on her, so maybe you have a different person. But certainly I wouldn't be cavorting with anyone who would assault a brigadier. I think you know me a little too well for that by now, Lieutenant.
I'm going to roll a check for Lieutenant Hobson, because he is a perceptive man. So I'm going to roll a history check to see if he would have perceived that Morin was injured when she interacted with him, because she was acting like she was not. But let's see if he recalls something like that. Okay. Okay. Gave him 2 bites at the apple. I don't know what you know of the situation, but clearly you were not apprised properly. 2 floaters, master and apprentice, assaulted my officers, one of which distracted us and allowed the other to unbind our captive and allow him to escape. Both of which were highly trained, incredibly proficient operatives who pose a tremendous danger to this city and ought to be taken to the Old Town Brig forthwith.
Well, if we're looking for individuals who pose a tremendous danger to this city, I find it very difficult to believe that it's this woman who can barely stand on her feet right now. Oh no, you might not be paying attention to that, but the heat does quite get to folks. So, again, not really fitting the description. And also, floater's a pretty common occupation for air genasi when they can get it. Are you absolutely sure you're not just confusing her with someone else? Because like I said, I haven't heard anything of the sort, and I've been with her all day.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out if gaslighting is a perception or deception check. Or sorry, persuasion or deception check. I feel like it is deception here because
That's fine.
you know that this is correct. Maybe it would be different if Rook did not think it was this way, but
Oh, no, he's fully deliberately lying right
Yeah.
now. This isn't like a, oh, it's the truth, I'm bending it a little bit, but like this is mostly what's up. No, I'm lying to his face. That's okay.
Also,
So,
remember you have advantage.
Yes, one sec.
Morin has no poker face, so up close, Rook definitely would know he's lying because he knows that she is guilty.
she's doing like the emoji that's just like the straight teeth. That's just like
Okay. So
Doing the thing where, like-
my luck appears to be almost on the verge of running out because my first roll was a 3. However,
do you
then
have advantage?
with advantage, my second roll is it deception? It's 24.
Wow. I'm gonna roll insight, but I will tell you that it would be difficult for Lieutenant Hofson to make it.
Gaslight his ass.
I'm so here for gaslighting.
That is a 3 on the die.
Yes.
He looks at you,
Ooh.
Rook, and he looks at Morin, and then he looks at you. He looks back at Morin. He looks at you. He looks back at Orion, and then looks at Morin, and then looks at you. He looks at Valentine and Eteria, and then back at Morin, and then back at you. And then he looks at the 2 Briggs to either side of him. And you know what? I'm going to have them roll insight checks too.
Oh, son of a...
Can they roll
Okay.
to see if they think that he's racist?
Okay. Well,
All right. They both look at him, and he goes, "Perhaps I was quick to judge." And the woman Brig looks up at him and, like, makes a face, and then she just kind of goes, like, sort of shakes her head and rolls her eyes, and just seems like, I don't care enough to say anything. And he looks and goes, "But why are you down here in the first place? This is incredibly suspicious."
well, I mean, quite frankly, due to my inherent physiology, I'm able to handle this sort of heat. And partly, people use engine tunnels to travel. People use engine tunnels to navigate. Isn't that what you're doing right now? Just traveling from one end of the city to another.
But as you said, Detective Rook, that woman does not seem to be handling this heat well.
Which
Nor
is
do
why we're
several
at
other
the staircase right now. And which is why I'm at the front trying to get the rest of us out of here. So, it's really a case of there was someone who clearly needed a hand in terms of traveling with this. That hand was offered.
We were sightseeing, officer. You know, kind of an adventurous, urban exploration. I know it was foolish. We just wanted to see a different side of the city, and my poor friend just couldn't handle it, and Detective Rook was so kind as to lead us out of here.
And if you have forgotten, a couple years back I did used to do a few, did try my hand a bit with engine maintenance, so I do know my way around some of these tunnels. It's only fair that I give people a hand when I can. All gotta do what we gotta do in this city.
He's such a good citizen.
I'll say, Valentine, you're going to add a deception check, but I'll say you can make it with advantage because Rook, like, instantly backed you up on it. So he's offering you some help.
I love having 2 bards in the party.
This is wonderful. I'm keeping my mouth shut.
That's weird. 2 12s. But that is a 19.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to have him roll again. Another 3 on the die.
Let's go.
Is Valentine currently suppressing her halo?
I mean, she had been earlier, but I don't think she could maintain it for this long. So probably not.
So he looks up at you, Valentine, as you're speaking, like actually takes you in more than like the humorous moment I narrated before. And you see his eyes drift like many eyes do up to the halo around your head. And you see immediately his face softens and his hand goes to his coat, and you don't see him touch anything specifically, but you know the motion enough to know that beneath his coat he has a small obsidian stone resting against his heart, indicating that he is a devout worshiper of the All and None. And you no check required. It's just something you've seen all the time. And he looks at you and he looks at the others and he goes, I don't think a miracle would lie to us. I think that perhaps coincidences do happen. I don't think we're going to have any success searching down here while the engines are running. We'll escort you all to the lower deck. Make sure you get there safely. This, stairway is quite unsafe.
Much obliged.
Of course. And he sort of stands to the side, clearly expecting you all to go in front.
Real quick above table, we were trying to go up, right?
Yes.
And he's trying to have us go down.
No, like he's saying.
Oh, no, okay.
It's all up from
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the
Oh, it's
lowest
all
you
left.
can get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yep, cool.
I'm gonna try to like link arms with him and kind of bat my eyes and kind of have him escort me towards the front of the pack.
Do a persuasion check with advantage.
Persuasion, that is a 23.
Nice. So as you sort of link arms with him, he looks at you, and it's the unfortunate thing where you know everyone sort of looks slightly above your eyes. He's not looking at you, he's looking at what you are. And he goes, "Oh, yes, of course. We'll guide you up top. Colgrin, Shayla, bring up the rear." And he starts walking you up the stairs, leading the way. He takes... The stairs are wide enough that even though there's no railing, it's not necessarily a huge chance of falling, but it is still uncomfortable. And he puts you closest to the inside. So he stands along the outside, sort of forming a barrier between you and death, and walks up with you. And as he's walking, he goes, "Sightseeing, it's a bit dangerous for one such as yourself to do such a thing in the hold. There are unfortunates who dwell here."
I can be so silly sometimes. I know that it wasn't a good idea. I won't do it again.
I wouldn't recommend it. But how do you like it in the lower deck? And he's just trying to make small talk as you head up. Do the rest of the party mates follow behind?
Yes.
I think Rook would be keeping close pace behind Valentine is probably up by Lieutenant Hofson. Rook would probably then be like in step with the other two brigs. Because it's Lieutenant Hofson and there's one other brig or two other brigs?
Two. The two ensigns
That's
are
right, yeah.
The Astral Elven woman and the Dwarvish. They're both young people.
Yeah. So I think Rook would kind of try to keep in step with them. And it's just also going to be trying to make conversation. It's just going to be like, although I do got to say, misunderstanding, notwithstanding here, but fantastic work you all are doing. Have y'all been encountering any difficulties lately on the streets? Any big pressing concerns?
The dwarven ensign, who was referred to as Ensign Cogran, he looks at you and he goes, well, it's been a bit difficult lately. There's been a lot of activity, especially on that border between lower and middle deck. There's been some, and then you see that Ensign Sheila, who was the one that looked kind of put upon with Lieutenant Hobson's behavior, looks between Cogran and you and gives you a look like she knows the whole shtick. And she is not going to participate, but she's not going to say anything. And she looks at you and she goes, things have been difficult, yes, but we're doing just fine. Let's go up.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Just starts chatting with Cogran at that point.
And she follows along at the very tail end. And you make your way up. It takes about 20 minutes to climb this staircase. It is incredibly steep. You were very deep within the hold. And as you get closer to the sort of top of the hold area, the light from above goes brighter and brighter until you emerge into what appears to be a sort of warehouse area. It seems like it's maybe attached to sort of the uppermost levels of the engine. And there's light coming through the windows from the street lamps outside. There's not actually light within the space, but there's enough windows that it's well illuminated in this place. And as you emerge, Lieutenant Hobson looks back down to you, Valentine, and says, and even if you had made your way up this ladder, technically it's trespassing to be in here. We, as Briggs, have the right of passage into, anywhere we need to go to for brigadier business. But it's not necessarily a place that we want ordinary members of the public to go freely.
Oh my, I wouldn't have wanted to be trespassing.
Well, I knew you wouldn't intend for such a thing, but just so that you are now aware that it is a substantial risk, be cautious.
It's very good advice. Thank you so much. You must see so much in your work and meet so many interesting people. Have you met a lot of people in the upper decks?
Of course, I have. I've met so many important people. My superior officer, I've met. He's stationed in the Hawk. It's adjacent to the upper deck, the uppermost pillar brigadier station, and he's a person.
Wow.
Oh man. And it is, I'll have Valentine do an insight check.
I'd love to. We're back, baby. Okay, that's actually not that bad. 13?
13. I would say that with a 13, this does not seem like someone who is well connected or who knows a lot. He has been promoted to the rank immediately above ensign, and you can tell from his age he's been here for like 100 years. There's been no other promotions, nothing else. And he wants desperately to impress you because he believes you are a very significant and important person. But he doesn't have a lot to give you. He's given you what he can.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for bringing us up here. It was so kind of you.
Do you need an escort to walk you home? Make sure you're safe? And he goes, oh, it's like middle of first shift. There's all sorts out in these odd hours.
Oh, that's all right. I'm sure I'll manage. And I'm sure you have much more important things to be doing.
Oh, more important than escorting a miracle? Absolutely not. Please, where can we take you?
Last I checked, wasn't there still that, floater on the loose you mentioned?
I didn't ask you, Detective Rook.
Sorry, you know me, just always butting in.
No, you're right. I have a very solemn and important duty. And he looks at Valentine. So important.
So important.
You have your very solemn duty that you swore to this city. However, in your stead, as a frequent associate, co-worker, whatever you may want to call it, I can personally guarantee the safety of the lady myself, in case it eases your conscience at all.
I'm gonna unlink my arm with the lieutenant and link my arm with Rook's.
And no insight check required. He looks so sad for just a second. And then he sort of marshals his expression. All right. No, we were supposed to watch this post. We'll send you on your way. I will expect, Detective Rook, that you stop by the station with a report, ensuring that all safely arrived where they are going.
Absolutely, of course.
And, a more specific description of how you came upon so many lost in the hold. If there is some unfortunate, flawed map being disseminated or something along those lines, we must bring the forgery to justice.
Yes, of course. Part of the reason is, you'll get a report. You know I always do.
You do. All right. Well.
Just be careful down there. Engine's acting up. It's a little temperamental. It's a little extra hot. So even I was starting to feel it, and you know how I am.
Yes, I certainly know it's uncomfortable. Fortunately, a bit of a breeze from the warehouse at the bottom. But anyway, travel safe, Miracle, and all of you. He sort of looks at the motley crew. His eyes, for the first time, linger and, get a weird expression looking at Chrys. And then you just see him kind of go, it's probably fine. And he turns to look at the other ensigns and says, all right, back down below. And Cogran's like, well, we just climbed up all the stairs. And he goes, I don't care. It's time to... And then Sheila just sort of shakes her head and she looks sort of back over the group and shrugs, looks at Rook, shakes her head, and starts going back down the stairs.
As Hofson and Cogran both turn around and Sheila's just looking,
Rook is just kind of going to go and give a cheeky 2-finger salute off his temple.
Real quick turn around.
And she is going to give a hand sign. And Rook, do you speak Idithkayan?
Do I speak Idithkayan? I don't think so. I speak Common and I speak Primordial.
Okay, I'll say do a religion check for me.
I'll take it. That is a 17 plus 4 for a 21.
Ooh. So I'll say with that check, while you did not immediately, it's not super connected to the language for you. It's more so connected to the religious significance. The hand sign that she does is related to the worship of Idithkoa. Specifically, it is the sign for those who follow the virtue of wit. So it seems like she, as someone who follows this virtue, had great respect for the wit that was shown in this interaction and decided not to say anything out of respect for it.
Nice.
Fantastic.
And there
I'm
you
not
go.
even going to remotely try to push my luck. I'm going to shut up and I'm going to keep walking.
All right. You are able to walk out into the dim, ever-present light of the lower decks. The rain from above is no longer falling in sheets. There's just sort of the trickle as it comes off of all the different buildings and is slowly just the last dregs of it working its way down. The streets are still fairly flooded. You'd be wading through ankle-high water this low in the lower decks, but it's not the knee-high water it was before. And you can go wherever. What's the plan?
We were going to the docks, right?
Mm-hmm.
How high are
believe
we
so,
right
yeah.
now?
You are... If the hold was -1, you are now at 0.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say anyone would know that the docks are located at midship, at sort of the border between upper and middle deck, sort of partway up the city. And there are docks on both sides because sometimes the starboard side of the city is the one that gets put up against the seam. Sometimes it's the port side. It just sort of depends on how they approach the seam at a given time. And for specifically the Mathurin tear, which is what you are approaching now, because of the sicular, whatever the word is, cycles, that it
Cyclical?
is cyclical. Yes. Thank you very much, Lily. Due to the cyclical cycles, which is probably redundant, whatever, it will be a port side docking. And so that would be the dock that you would need to go to in order to have a gangway that'll help you access through the seam.
Does anyone know where we can get some protective gear? We can't send, oh my gosh, I forgot her name, Portaria through with nothing or she'll burn up before she hits terra firma.
Is a good point. Would I know anything about this? Is this like a history check or...
I would say you know some off the bat, but I'll say do a history check and I'll give you more detail depending on how. You will have an answer, but I'll just determine how detailed it is based on this.
Wahoo. 16.
Okay, with a 16, the detail I'll give you is, well, first of all, you immediately think, okay, well, if you need protection in the void, that's literally what the Sunlasher uniform is for. But as you think with more detail, you know from being out there that the seams or the tears are specifically radiant energy that has ripped a hole in the cosmos, in the planes. And it is through this tear that people are able to pass through without the use of incredibly powerful magic. And something that would be also known to, floaters and other people who frequently move outside the city in the zero gravity of the void itself is that just like it would be a death sentence to go into a radiant storm without Sunlasher equipment or something similar, it would likewise be a death sentence to go through a tear without similar protection. How the gangways function is that they are essentially heavily fortified tubes that are inserted through the seam to allow people to pass back and forth within this protected area. And so that's how most trade and transfer of people is conducted.
Okay. That is good to know. And just kind of like a follow-up thing for the gangways, since I'm assuming that's more common knowledge, is it like the risen flavor of TSA, where people people who come in and out get kind of checked and documented, or is it just like anything goes?
I would say it's common knowledge that you need permission to board or disembark Risen. The population is heavily controlled in that way because of the scarcity of resources. So if you need to leave, you essentially need to ask permission for your disembarkation forms and your permission, or your embarkation permission.
Sorry, one last question on the table. Like, how closely are people inspected? Because, like, asking for permission, it's one thing to kind of just get permission. It's another thing if you're inspected, like, very thoroughly.
I will above table tell you that unless you have the proper paperwork, you are not getting through unless you do something sneaky.
Got it. Okay. All right, gang, we have two options. So, the first option, which could backfire horrifically for all of us, should it fall through, is getting a disguise to go through the actual gangway. I don't like that idea, to be quite frank with you. The other idea is I see if I can scrounge up a Sunlasher suit and see if I can pull some strings and get somebody to hand it off to me for a little bit. Takers?
What is a sunlasher?
You don't know what those are? Chrys, you live by the engines, right?
Yes.
And what do you suppose powers those engines?
Heat?
In a sense, this whole place, this everything here on this floating rock, we are able to move forward because of essentially radiant energy. That's what all of this is. That's what bombards our city constantly. That's what the power outages are, and that's what we run on. And somebody's got to get out there and reel some of that in so that we can continue going forward in this expanse. And I used to be one of them, so I'll see what I can do.
It's all we can ask.
Curious.
And speaking up for the first time in a while, Terry goes, "Oh, you used to be an actual, like, sunlasher? I thought you worked in, like, the inventory department or something."
Orion's smile is so forced at the mention of inventory.
Yeah, no, it's I used to be one of the guys out on the field. I honestly hate inventory. I don't care if this gets back to tourney. I cannot stand inventory. It is the worst thing. There's not a day that goes by without me wanting to get back out in the field, but I can't. So, inventory is where I stay. I just get on tourney's nerves, and that's decent enough entertainment to get me through my shifts.
Can I roll an insight check on that?
Sure.
Like he said he can't, but what does that mean? Ooh. 22.
You get the sense that when he says he can't, it's not... He says it in such a way the way he holds himself and the way that he kind of his eyes seem to be looking for something far off in the distance. It's really not that he was let go of the position. It wasn't like he was fired for not performing up to par. It really is what he said. He cannot actually physically bring himself. That is not a job that he can actually do anymore. There's no lie in that. It's not like oh, my boss is so unfair and fired me. It is genuinely I am no longer fit for this position and therefore I no longer work it kind of situation.
Okay.
But hey, on the topic of getting on Turney's nerves, how about we see if I can rustle up a Sunlasher suit for our esteemed guest over here.
I think that seems to be one of the best options we got, yeah.
Whatever
Alrighty.
we need to do, we just need to keep moving. I don't like standing out here on the street.
So let's get you somewhere secluded, and let's get Orion somewhere where he can get us the Sunlasher suit.
And let's get Morin some water.
Yep, that too.
So where do we need to go, Orion?
How close am I to a refinery or adjacent location?
You would know that the Sunlashers actually use the gangways in between dockings to do their, missions. The gangways extend so that they can get you sort of as far as possible in the protection of the gangway before you go out into the storm. So actually there are Sunlasher hubs sort of all around the center ring of the ship towards the hull side, and so it'd actually be darn right convenient to stop by a Sunlasher sort of office. There's different hubs, so it would depend if you wanted, excess resources, suits that have been freshly made and are still in storage, or old suits in storage, or things that are being repaired, or if you want ones that are being actively used, those would all be in different places.
Okay. I think Orion is probably going to gear towards suits that are being actively used because those are the ones that are, as far as he knows, for sure has no issues. New ones haven't been tested, and the old ones, he's not sure when they're gonna, blow a fuse. So he's gonna probably opt for a in-use suit.
All right. So the place you would be most familiar with is your home station, which is a starboard side station, and everyone there knows you, and it is very busy. On the other side is sort of a sister station that is the mirror image that is similarly busy, but people don't necessarily know you. And I got my directions mixed up. Whatever direction I said it was is similar, but you wouldn't have access to it necessarily. Like your pass keys and keys and whatnot would not work there, but you would be familiar with the layout and where things are and how it operates, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right, well, guess we're all taking a field trip to my workplace.
All of us, or is this better for kind of the you situation? I feel like this is kind of sneaky to the point where, you coming in with a crowd of 5 other yahoos probably ain't gonna go the best.
Fair enough. At any rate, we should set up a rendezvous point.
True.
How far are we from the fading light?
Basically the fading light was closer to aft, and you're now closer to midship, so it's a fair distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're pretty far from my hidey hole. I think unless anyone else has spots nearby, I think we might have to follow Orion just to get out of the open.
Quick question. How close would this be more to where I would be situated from? Would I know any spots around here that I could lay low or just dip into? Or even just like my actual place?
I don't think we established that exactly for Rook. So go ahead and just do a luck check for me. We can figure
I'll take
out
that.
where your apartment is.
That's a 15.
15. So I'll say, not conveniently next door, but within the same neighborhood, because basically the midship area of the lower deck, the lower decks as you get higher get slightly nicer, and then as you get closer to the original deep city, they get nicer. So it's sort of a diagonal gradient almost. And so in this sort of nicer but not necessarily, mid deck level place, there's lots of individual apartments rather than sort of rundown tenements, and a little bit of a better vibe overall, but still, of course, lower deck. But not too far. If you walk just a few more blocks, you'll get to the apartment building where your apartment is located.
Okay. Well, this goes against any and all better judgment than I have, but considering the matter of necessity and the all due respect, I would like to disclaim that while I say this, Eteria. Extreme inconvenience that this day has posed. Despite that, you know what? Actually, hold on. And he takes his jacket off, hands it to Eteria, takes his hat off, puts it on Eteria. Great. You are barely even detectable as any person that is semblant of you. Someone sees you, they're way too good at this. Point is, we're walking a few blocks. We are... I can't believe I'm doing this. We're going to my apartment. Cool? Cool.
Detective Rook, aren't you gonna buy me dinner first?
No. I ain't buying you anything. I want you out. I'm tired of this. This case sucks.
So I was trying Eva, let's
It's
go.
okay, Eteria. He's pretty
No.
humorless.
Ugh.
Is buying people dinner before going to your house normal?
No, Chrys.
Oh,
She was
honey.
making what's called an innuendo.
Oh.
We will not be explaining to you.
I will not, in fact, be explaining that, nor will I be detailing that. However, Eteria, I did find it funny. My face is just a little hard to read, so apologies for that.
Alright.
Look, I'm sorry, today's a lot, but let's just please get walking, because I don't want any more complications to happen, because running into Hofson was already difficult enough. Let's just get a move on, cool? Orion, we'll meet you back at the docks.
Sounds good.
Come back safe. I'm gonna give him a bardic inspiration.
Alright. I see Aspen's
Thank
face.
you.
Do you need to add something?
Orion, do you want someone to come with you? On this, stealth mission you're going on alone?
Having yes and no. I would like credibility. So are you offering to come?
Only if you think it would be helpful. If you think it wouldn't be helpful, I'll stay back. I have a stop I need to make somewhere anyways.
Why don't you tag along? I'm thinking that maybe some getting to look out into the void might do a little good for you.
All right. You sort of follow along and make it to Rook's apartment and split ways on the outside, while Orion and Morin begin to head more up towards midship proper. Give us a tour of Rook's apartment as you all go in. What What does that crew see as they are settling down to lay low?
So, um, he opens the door and it's kind of one of those cases where like the lock on it is pretty. It's like the lock needs maintenance, but the apartment complex doesn't care all that much. So like the key sticks a little bit as he like twists and it like gets caught. But he opens the door and as soon as it like opens, for starters, the inside kind of just has this very pervasive scent of like a very heavy like herbal smoke to it. Like you get like a little bit of scent of like what's almost like lavendery, mullein-y, like kind of just a bunch of like just a lot of herb smell that's very very suffused into this whole place. Otherwise, it's pretty spotless. There isn't much mess, but it also looks like the place is someone who isn't home that often. But you go in and it's like a pretty chill, pretty like mellow looking, like I would say probably like a one bedroom studio situation. So like it opens up and there's this like living room set up, a couple seats, sofa, a kitchen that also looks pretty minimal but enough, and then kind of just a closed door off the right. You're just like, okay, again, very impromptu, but make yourselves at home. I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be an improper host, so if you need anything, just let me know. For the record, I'm not humorless. Anyway, and he walks
Materia
and
just sort of looks at you. I'm sorry, did I interrupt you?
nope.
She's standing in the doorway, like not quite stepping in, as she sort of looks around at what's clearly your private space. And she just looks a bit uncomfortable as she's standing there in your coat, under your hat, looking around.
Okay, I'm sorry it was impromptu. Obviously, you're clearly trying to remain obscure, so I was trying to assist with that. I was trying to lend a hand. Just give me my hat back. Give me my coat back.
All right. She sort of takes it off and hands it to you. You gonna invite a lady in?
I thought I'd just. You're right. Where are my manners? Miss Eteria, you are more than welcome inside my apartment. Please make yourself at home.
Why, thank you, Mr. Rook. I appreciate it. I don't know.
And to everyone here, I apologize for the curtness down in the engines. I get a rat headache being down there. It's a lot. Excuse me. And he kind of walks over into his kitchen, and he kind of reaches into one of the cabinets, pulls out a jar of herbs, and just starts packing it into the pipe again. Just lights up.
Expensive stuff.
Kind of a necessity.
Hmm.
Get spendy where you can.
As she looks down at her sodden clothing, the makeup she was wearing has sort of dribbled down her face a little bit. She's been trying to sort of keep it nice with her fingers, but she's got that unintentional smoky eye look happening from all the rain. She looks and she goes, "You got a powder room or something? Your restroom? I can freshen up a little."
No, sorry, apartment actually doesn't have one of those. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke. Very clearly a joke.
All right.
Yeah, it's that door on the right over there.
Okay. It's been a weird day. I'm gonna go take a minute.
I agree. Take all the time you need.
If you want some of my... I've got some cosmetics if you want to freshen up.
I got mine in a pocket somewhere. I'll be good. Thank you, though. I appreciate it, Valentine.
I can be nice sometimes.
And she steps into the other room and shuts the door. And you hear Does the water in this apartment work? Is there running water?
I'd say yes. Yes, there would
Okay.
be. He makes enough to get a decent place along with the exuberantly expensive mix of plants he smokes.
Oh yeah. You hear the faucet start going and generally the sound of splashing and whatnot as you have a few moments before Eteria comes back out. If there's something you want to say.
How high are we?
I'd say that'd be up to Rook.
4th floor.
So, like, is that high?
It's like
Oh no,
story.
I meant like deck wise.
You're still in the lower
Oh,
decks.
yeah, we're still lower deck.
Oh, okay. Where are you guys in the room?
Hovering awkwardly. Or no, that's a Marilyn thing to do. Valentine is draped across the couch like she owns the place.
And Rook is
And
very firmly in the kitchen by like the stove hood so that the smoke isn't getting near everyone.
are there windows in this house or apartment?
In the living room, no, because the main portion of the living room is like connected to the interior. By the
Mhm.
kitchen, like in the kitchen, there's like a panel window there, that can
Okay.
open up. So yeah, so
Okay.
there's a window, yeah.
Chrys is kind of like standing in the corner, like somewhere around like the boundary between the kitchen and the living room, just kind of swaying a little bit back and forth, looking around, like not confusedly, or but it's like they look a little bit uncomfy.
Uh, is everything okay? Could I get you anything? Chris, right?
Oh, I am all right. I just don't leave the hold very much.
Hmm. This must be a bit of a jarring change of circumstance then.
Hmm.
Understandable. Could I get you anything to help, or I don't quite have
Um,
that much of a tea set up, but I think I might be able to get something. It might not be great, but up to you.
I do you have do you have any odds and ends of any sort that you don't mind not having?
Uh, define odds and ends.
I like to craft things. It helps me think.
Oh, oh, shoot, yeah. One sec, be right back. And he kind of quickly shuffles over into his room, and he, like, you just hear like the sound of like drawers opening and closing and opening and closing again. And he comes back out, and in his hand there is a single ball of yarn and 2 needles,
Lee.
and they are just stuck in it. He goes, a client of mine didn't have much to pay, so I kind of just wanted she wanted to give me something, and what she had was this, so I wasn't gonna refuse that, but I have no use
Oh,
for it.
is it like crocheting or knitting needles?
Knitting needles.
Chris gently takes it from you and says, "Oh, I haven't knit in a while. Thank you."
Yeah, of course. Oh, real quick. So sorry, I just need to get the thought out while it's here. Valentine, right? One,
That's right.
don't believe we ever had a proper introduction, so we'll get to that later. Two, why did the lieutenant address you like that?
Oh, it's just part of the religion, the all and none. There's a great veneration for Asimar. They think we're miracles. They think that we cause good things to happen.
Wouldn't that be great?
Rook is savage. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt this.
I know. I haven't seen much evidence of it myself. They say that the highest good a miracle can obtain is to sacrifice themselves for some greatness. So, still time for that.
Oh, I don't think that's something you should aspire to. There's not really much good in sacrifice for something great if it's not. Usually, I find sacrifice isn't all it's cracked up to be. Is the point there? However, despite the earlier hostility and the tension, it's a pleasure to meet you. You already know this, but name's Rook. So,
Very nice to meet you, Detective.
and likewise, you handled yourself well with the improvised escape back there. I had to say something about it. I don't usually see people that operate as quickly as I do with stuff like that. Not to mention picking up my slack. That's a tall order, because I left. That would not
You
my
didn't,
best work.
you didn't leave much slack to pick up. You handled yourself well as well.
Hmm.
And
I'd almost believe that, but I do know that flattery seems to be your thing.
You've seen right through me. How perceptive of you.
You're a charmer, aren't you?
We all have some gifts in this world. This just happens to be mine.
Well, at least one of us got a pretty face.
In this
You know-
moment, the door opens and Eteria sort of steps back out into the room. Is Valentine still draped across the couch?
Definitely. Like, maybe even drapier now.
Eteria, is there another chair or place to sit?
It's almost similar to like the apartment type like dorms that you can imagine. So there's like a table to eat at and there's a sofa and there's like a love seat. So
Okay.
there's like a smattering of chairs that just sort of comes with it.
She goes and she sits in the love seat, sort of quietly, just listening, fiddling with her hands.
Everything all right, Eteria?
Yeah, just nervous is all. How's the post-irrigation weather? And we'll fade out of this scene as we'll follow up the street with Morin and Orion as you are walking in the direction of the. Would you guys go towards the main gondolas that lead up to midship, mid deck and beyond? Or would you go to one of the other slightly longer but more out of the way staircases and ladder passages as you're heading that direction? Or would you go somewhere else?
I am personally leaning towards staircase or otherwise, mostly just because I know gondolas have a system of checking passengers, and I'd like Morin to stay out of the spotlight as much as possible.
I'm following your lead on this.
Okay, so like I'm not planning to go some extremely roundabout like parkouring along the outer city type beat. Okay, so I guess I'll take a probably lesser used stairway
Mm-hmm.
up to the what was it that I said, the port.
Yeah. You're in, to your home one that you are familiar with.
Nope, not port.
Oh.
Starboard.
I might have reversed them. I forget. Doesn't matter. So you're going to the starboard one that is less familiar. And moving in that direction, it takes time to travel because the city is so large and so vertical. So it takes, I'll say by the time you all split up at Rook's apartment, you have entered into hour 4 of your 20 hours left essentially in this excursion as you are heading up. You begin working your way up to mid-decks. I believe Morin said that she had a stop she wanted to make. Would you intend to do that before or after your little mission?
I'll come back afterwards if we make it out alive.
Power of positive thinking. It's easy enough to navigate, but I will say it takes you on foot, not using the gondolas, which are much faster, about half an hour to get up to middle decks, and another half hour to get to the actual station. So by the time you get there, we're in 19 hours left. And you arrive outside of the starboard side Sunlasher office.
Here we are.
I'm gonna stay out here. I'm gonna stay quiet. I'm gonna try not to be seen. You said you were gonna try to convince someone to give you one?
Yeah, this is just generally where I work anyways. People should know me, and hopefully I have enough credit that it wouldn't be too difficult slipping a suit out for a bit.
Great. I'll just be here if you need me. I can be quiet in and out. I'll wait for your signal.
Do you want to, and at this point Orion removes, if I could pull my sheet up, he removes the war pick that he carries like under a little pack that he has on his back, and he offers it to Morin. Do you want to just take this just in case?
What is it for?
You know, obviously try not to use it. That would be great. Fantastic, even if that remains unused. But, you know, on the off chance that you're recognized or someone starts coming after you, I mean, survival is priority over anything else. I would just take it.
Okay.
I'll try to be in and out. Hopefully we won't have to use it, but, you know, just on the off chance.
Can you describe what it looks like to me?
Mm-hmm.
Just so I like make sure I have the right visual in my mind of what's happening.
It looks like a pickaxe, by all means. It's not fancy. It's really more for durability than it is cool factor. It is a worn wooden handle that has some metal. I will specify what kind of metal. Like, I'm thinking like steel. I don't know what kind of stuff you could get on the city, actually. But just something that's durable, like steel that's kind of wrapping around just to provide it a little extra support. And it's a kind of hammer head-esque on one side and a fairly blunt pick on the other. But it's like if you swing it with enough force, it's not going to matter that it's blunt. It doesn't need to be a sickle. You know what I mean? So I would say it's about like a little longer than forearm length. Just not a huge weapon, easy to swing, and fairly okay to conceal.
Okay. I'll take it and slide it into one of the loops on my belt, and then if you're going in, I'll try to find an alley or a shadowy spot nearby where I can hunker down for a while.
All right, sounds good. In and out. I'll see you in a bit.
All right, Morin, roll a stealth check for me to see how good of a little hidey hole you can make.
I did also forget until Marilyn just messaged about my 2 levels of exhaustion, but hopefully it'll still be fine. Well, I still got a 22. So.
Ooh, nice. So you find a good alley. It's the kind of place that you can lean against one of the walls and just be in the shadow of the building that you are in, across the street from the entrance to the main Sunlasher office here. And you are fully encased in shadow, inconspicuous. If someone walked by, they might not even notice you're there, as you keep an eye out for Orion to leave. And Orion, you go towards this office that's not your home office, but is like it. It's almost a mirror image as you approach. And what are you going to do? You get to the front doors. You know that in your home office, there's a reception area where there is typically someone who works at the front desk because there's mail coming in and out all the time, people coming in requesting shipments, all sorts of things. Front of house, there's the individual departments inside, like inventory, like the storage and warehousing, like the artificer repair shop for the different suits and all of those things, as well as the actual locker rooms that lead towards the gangways and actual usage facilities that the Sunlasters use to perform their duties. So how do you want to go about gaining access? The easiest is the front door. Other entrances would likely be locked.
I guess the least suspicious way to go in is just to walk on in there.
All right. You do so, and behind the front desk, you see a sort of middle-aged looking woman. Her skin is a translucent, only semi-formed blue. Her hair are tight curls of foaming waves sort of splashing down around her face in a short bob, but like a curly bob. And over her body is she's wearing a sort of wrapped robe that a lot of water genasi wear to sort of keep their moisture to themselves, and then the normal Sunlasher front desk uniform on top of that. You just see the robes underneath peeking through from the top of her buttoned shirt. As she looks at you and she goes, "Oh, hello. What can I do for you?"
Hi, so I have a quick favor to ask of you, if that's all right.
Oh, we don't deal in favors, we deal in energy. What can I do for you?
That's right. My name's Orion, and so I think at this point, am I still wearing the uniform? I'm still wearing the uniform, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I kind of pull my patch around, and the color shows that I run inventory, and I'm just like, so I just got a bit of a request for you. Could I take a look at some of the lashing suits that are still currently being used on the field right now? I might need to borrow one, if just for a little bit. But can I just kind of take a look so that I can?
Well, I don't recognize you. I don't think you work in this facility, sir. And, why would someone in inventory need a Sunlasher uniform anyway?
That's a fantastic question. Hang on, above energy, above table. I'll cut this out.
Above energy.
Above energy.
I don't like this energy.
Above energy.
I find it so much more funny just imagining or just her asking this to Orion and Orion just going,
Fair enough.
just staring at her blank
No,
slate.
I'm legitimately cutting this bit out because I have no idea what I'm gonna say. I need a minute.
Okay.
I legitimately need.
Would
like,
we have talked about this beforehand?
No.
No, you guys did not.
I was hoping that
Dude.
something would come to me, spirit of improv in the moment, but I legitimately do need hopefully a minute or so that I can
Okay.
think
There
of
may
something
have-
and not completely bomb this.
There may have been a flaw in us taking both charisma people and putting them in the same apartment.
Just hanging out.
Just vibing, just chilling.
I would
feel
be
like-
making it worse if I was there, so
I feel like a
In
sense of
hindsight.
urgency is always good. Like if it's an
Mhm.
emergency, they might be more willing to work with you.
That's how the scammers get you.
The
Mhm.
originally, I went starboard because, I thought that was at starboard. I thought that was his home station. I didn't realize that it was the other
Oh.
way around.
I might have messed that up. Because I thought you said you wanted to go to the one that was different, and you said starboard, so I assumed you were correct.
No. Starboard is the one that everyone that. That's the one that he knows.
Oh, because I said
'Cause-
the one you're familiar with, and you went no, and I was like, what? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry if I said that. I
Oh, okay.
did mean because I wrote because I've been taking
Shall
notes.
we retcon?
Yeah.
If it has been mentioned that Orion is going to the station he is unfamiliar with, that is incorrect. He is going to the port side station that is his home station. All has otherwise gone as planned. Morin is stationed out front. Orion is now walking in the front to do what he needs to do.
Okay. Does the receptionist know me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You know her. It is there's not very many halfling folks in Risen, but she is a halfling woman. On in years, but iron-fisted with how she rules the front desk and secretarial staff. And as you walk in, she looks at you, eyes instantly very, very wide, despite how with age it makes it very difficult for her to sort of peer out from the wrinkles of her face at you. And she goes,
Ah, Ryan.
Hey.
You're not scheduled for this shift.
I am not, and look at me being an upstanding citizen and coming back in.
Well, you won't be paid.
I was afraid you'd say that. Well, before I continue the conversation, how disheveled do I look from spending 3 hours in the belly of the
You don't look well. Your suit is still sweat stained, and I would say you have a level of exhaustion, so you're not doing incredibly well.
Right. I have had a very long day, a very long shift. And I just really want to make this a get in, get out situation. If I could possibly trouble you guys to just lend me the use of a suit for just, I don't know, a bit, a day. I kind of want to make like a check on something. It's like a bit of a personal project of mine, but this is the only way that I'm able to actually, get out there. I can't quite get to it without a suit. And so if I could just really quick
roll a persuasion check with disadvantage, because I don't know that you gave any adequate explanation for your role and why you need a suit.
Ooh. That was actually better than I imagined it would be.
Also, you have Bardic.
I do have Bardic. Okay. What is that, a D6?
Yeah.
Yippee. Alright. It's the exact same result. Okay, so that is a 17.
Okay. She looks at you and she does not immediately throw you out. But she goes,
I don't understand. You don't work in the repair shop. You're in inventory. Why do you need a uniform?
Do I know her name?
yes, her name is Agnes.
Agnes. Agnes, you know how I used to be actually part of the Sunlashers that go out into the field?
Yes.
Right. It's just not the same being grounded. And I know that's what everybody says, but sometimes when I want to get back out there. I know I can't. And we're not next to a storm right now. Sometimes I miss it. And I would rather not die because I don't have good equipment. You know?
So, you would like to, against policy, requisition a Sunlasher uniform so that you can go freestyle diving?
Roll a persuasion check for me. Flat. Or I say deception check, actually. This would be deception.
Would it be deception? Because he does wish that he could go back
But that's
into the
not the
void.
purpose for which you want this suit.
But he could also use it for that. He's not technically. It's not a total lie.
I think it has to be deception.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
someone's gonna go free diving.
You know what? You know what? Before you tell me what you got, because there is a hint of truth, I'll let you have advantage. The best lies
Yay!
are ones with a hint of truth.
There's no way
Fine.
that should have worked.
Okay, well, I'll give
I
you.
am benevolent.
Thank you. Right. For full transparency, I will. I rolled a 10 on my first one, so here's hoping this goes better. 19.
Do you have any bonus at all?
No, was it a 12? Oh, no, I used Bardic already.
Well, no, I'm just asking you if you have a bonus or if it's flat.
I don't. It's flat.
Okay.
This is for deception, right?
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
was asking if you had a
I was
modifier.
okay. I misinterpreted that. I thought you meant like the DC was like 1
I no, because sometimes you're like it's a 12, and I'm just like, but do you have? And you're like, oh, +2. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause, I mean, beating a 20 would be different, but you've done well. There's a hint of truth. She looks at you.
Well, this is against policy. Pure and simple. But let's just say that I forgot you stopped by. I'm old. I don't have a good memory. The problem is my memory is so spotty. Sometimes it needs something to smooth it out. My memory. If you understand how I float.
Loud and clear, Agnes. Thank you.
So
Porter, I think she's saying she wants a bribe.
She
Right.
wants a bribe.
He's
I'm
like,
trying to-
okay, and leave.
I'm trying to think of an
Thank you
appropriate
so
bribe.
much.
Oh,
Agnes, hang on.
Oh,
I've got something for you. Okay, just from knowing her, do I know anything about what she likes?
I will say, cold hard cash will do the job.
You know what? Fair enough.
Money.
I've got a couple weeks worth on me. Would that suffice?
I'll take what you got.
I forked
Granny's
over.
running his wallet up.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. That's all I got.
that moment when the fighter is the broke one.
She takes the discs with a practiced hand.
She goes, "Oh, Sonny, it's so wonderful that you came. Lucas was your name? Oh, it's so nice."
And she just slides it from your hand and like into her pocket with just a practice ease, and she goes,
"Oh, all right. You go and get what you need, Sonny.
Thank you.
Of
And
course."
Orion has never been faster on his feet. He will just be like into suit storage.
Mm-hmm. And you're able to find a sort of chest that has the suit packed within it. Normally, this would be switched out in a locker because the suits are rotated and inspected regularly. So this is one that just hasn't been switched in for its new rotation yet. And you're able to pick it up. And it is not inconspicuous to carry around. So as you leave, though you do belong there, when you were walking through the halls, no one gave you another eye because you do work there. But on your way out, I'm going to need you to roll a stealth check for me. But this will be more of your incognito. I'm here doing what I'm supposed to be doing check.
You know what? It didn't land in my dice tray, but it is on my desk, which is a flat surface. And I have a +4, so I'm not going to re-roll it because I am afraid So with my +4, that is a dirty 20.
Ooh. So with your dirty 20, you are able to walk out. There's no one who's immediately suspicious of you. Maybe it would be a bit different if you didn't work here, but for all they know, your manager asked you to carry this out to a waiting sunlasher or something, and people aren't paid enough to care. And so you walk out and are able to reconvene with Morin.
Morin.
Hi. Oh, that thing is huge.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get that back down?
Bridge will cross when we get there. For the time being, I got it out. That's the important thing.
Right. And now we need to bring it down to Ateria.
Yes. Did not think this far ahead. Okay.
What if, hear me out, you put it on, and I don't have anything past that?
You know what? I hear you. I'm hearing you. Okay. Ray.
Yeah?
Any way to get back to Rook's apartment via the outskirts hanging on to the outside of the city? Like, not free-floating, but hanging on to the outside of the city?
You mean outside the hole?
Yes.
I mean, any floater would know ways to do that. There are ways, but you would have to get to a crack in the hull, which you basically, to move with this thing, you will be making a stealth check, but the difficulty and amount of stealth checks will depend on the route you take. So there is potentially a way to go through the outside of the hull. That will take more time as well, though. So by the time you got here, got in, got out, you are now down to 18 hours is where you're at.
Okay. It is less conspicuous if I put it on. I know how this thing works. That gives me more to work with.
Well, if you have the suit on, and we go outside the city, you're supposed to have the suit on outside the city, right?
Yes.
Which is better than having the suit on inside the city.
Yes.
We are so good at this.
So when the two melee characters have to come up
The
with the plan.
scores on these characters.
Above the table, this is just a box, right?
It's a chest. I mean, it's a conspicuous chest, but it's not like...
It's not like a nuke.
I was picturing him dragging around.
Oh, me too. I didn't realize it was a chest. I thought it was just like
it's
a full
box.
suit that
It's just like it's just a container that you're lugging around.
Oh, that's not nearly as bad.
Okay, I think
delivery man or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take my chances. Let's just go the normal route. I didn't realize it was chest. I legitimately thought I just like bridal carried this massive.
No!
I was obsessed with the idea that you guys really thought that like a good way to do this was to take this giant spacesuit out of the box, put it on, and walk through the city.
I was just baffled, but I was like, all right.
Well, you never just walk around Tortuga with a full-size diving bell. Never just go for a stroll.
And this is why we're the melee class.
All right.
There is one intelligence-based character in this group, and it's a bard.
It is not either of us.
Oh,
okay.
God.
Well, I feel like this box makes more sense inside the city than outside the city.
Wow, yes. What an astute observation. Onward.
Morin...
Why did we let you two be in a group together? Why did we let that be the squad that splinters off?
Guys,
like Air Genasi airheads over here.
You guys had to leave Rook behind.
Oh man.
I wasn't just gonna let people in my apartment without me there. That's weird.
All right. So you
I
guys are
think-
going to basically go the way you came, the more inconspicuous route, but back towards the apartment. Yes?
I think my pitch is just going to be maybe Morin tags along within eye distance, and then it would just be a Sunlasher inventory guy carrying a large case, which is not the most normal thing, but also not the most outlandish thing.
That's very smart.
That seems better.
Less weird than a sunlasher and a wanted criminal carrying a giant case through the city.
Whoa, no one knows I'm a wanted criminal except that one guy and then probably everyone else he works with.
Morin looks to her left and sees like a wanted poster with like a photorealistic version of her face on it.
And she just like eats it.
I just can't get my nose right.
I was gonna say.
Perfect. All right. I think this is a very smart plan. You'll still have to roll a stealth check for inconspicuousness, but the DC will not be as high because this is a good plan. So
Thank
both
God.
of you independently roll stealth checks.
12.
12.
Hey! We're so good at this!
Wow. All right. You make your way through the city and all the way to Rook's apartment.
Rook, I think you're gonna have to move.
There's a loud knock on Rook's door.
I'm honestly a little surprised that one, they found this place, and two, that they seem to have pulled it off, if that is them. I'm gonna hope that's them. Otherwise, we have more trouble on our hands. Look
Hey.
through the little peephole in the door. Is it them?
Is it
Rook.
us?
It's Rook.
Is it them?
Yes.
Oh,
Great.
God.
Just opens it, undoes the latch, opens it all the way. Okay. Got it? You good?
Yeah. And Orion holds up the case. And for full transparency, that was a 12 with the -1 to because of things.
The exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Did you carry that case up 4 flights of stairs?
Yes. It was not easy.
But he was really sneaky about it. We had this great. Well, really, Orion had a great idea.
Yeah, totally. It was
Just banged on every set of stairs like when you drag up a rolling suitcase.
That's the first thing that pops in Rook's mind, and he's just like, I'm sure the plan was lovely. I think if you share that plan with me, I'm going to have an aneurysm right here on the spot. So
Like on the halfway spot, Orion put it down and was just like, oh, like on the stage.
So without further ado, are we set to get our guest off the ground here?
yes.
What is the thing in the chest?
That it is, and it is very heavy, so please don't make me take it out and put it back in.
Could we put
Yep.
the thing in perhaps an easier to carry container?
I think this is about as easy as it's gonna get, Chrys.
Wait, how heavy are Sunlasher uniforms? Like, do they
Uh,
have to go in a chest?
It's pretty substantial. I don't think we've parsed out the exact weight, but I'm saying at least 50 pounds, right? It's like spacesuit gear.
Yeah,
So we
it's-
couldn't like.
That's
like
gonna
an
be a
old-timey
lot, a
diving.
lot.
Yeah.
Old
Yeah,
timey
it's-
diving things, those are like well over 100 pounds.
Oh, okay. Well, Orion is jacked, so
So we wouldn't be able to like fit that in a backpack or nothing.
No, no.
no,
It-
no.
Nah.
The helmet, gloves, and boots are reinforced with metal that is also insulated with thick reinforced leather as to prevent conduction and heat and stuff like that. And that's like not counting the. I might have been able to reduce some of the weight if I removed like the collection mechanism and like the canisters and stuff like that. So if it's just the suit, it might be a little better.
That's true. We don't need the collection stuff.
Yeah, let's just say I left it back in the refinery or the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's important is time. We've got 18 hours until the city docks, and then we'll have 8 hours after that. I'm wondering if it maybe wouldn't be a better idea to stay here for a little bit, because am I correct in thinking that it's not going to take us 18 hours to get to the docks?
No, it depends on if you guys are going to try to do a outside the city journey or inside the city journey. Outside will take longer but be less likely to be spotted versus inside. And when you get, because basically you need to decide, are you going to still try to use a gangway but, sneak Ateria through so she can just free glide through the portal? Like she doesn't need to go through the official mechanism. Or are you going to go all the way outside the city, starting from down here in the lower decks, all the way up and around, and then get her through the portal? Or go part of the way inside and then go out and go through the portal. It's just how much you guys want to do.
No,
So
but
all the way outside has the least chance of being caught, right?
Least chance of being caught, takes the longest, is a little bit more dangerous in terms of environmental risk, but less mortal. I can't say human, but less like mortal person risk.
Right.
We do have 18 hours left. That's a
Mhm.
lot of time before we dock. So, like, regardless, if we decided to take a shorter path, we would just be waiting around anyway. So we might as well take the longer and less likely to get caught path.
Yeah,
just
I agree, and I think Valentine would present these options to Ateria and basically say, I have some idea of what you're up against. If I were you, I would take the long road. I would rather die in the void than be caught by them, but I'm not you. And it should be your decision.
I mean, yeah, I've never been outside the city. The thought of being out there in the nothingness is scary. It's sort of my worst nightmare, the thought of floating out into the nothing. But no, not
hey.
my worst nightmare, but it's up there.
I think there are worse things than being in the nothing, especially around here.
And for what it's worth, both me and Morin have been, around, so we'll make sure that your suit and everything is well tethered so nothing happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you think that's the best bet, then
And from my own understanding with this, I'm not used to all this, outside the city, in the void stuff. Just so the plan is to essentially have Ateria where Ateria is going to be using the Sunlasher suit. Yes,
Correct. Yeah.
and doing this. So this suit is going to be like lost forever. Yes,
Correct.
great. Just want to make sure I had that understood. Orion, was that like something you can get away with, or are you gonna be like without a paddle because of this too?
You know, I am sure that is nothing some extra chips, rads, and overtime won't fix.
What an
Sounds like you have a
optimistic
plan.
perspective. I trust your judgment, and this is not my realm, so I will stay out of it.
I don't like that you're putting yourself way out there more than just. Well, thank you, Orion, for doing that.
I mean, some of us got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Before we go, how long have we been sitting in Rook's apartment?
The round trip, it's been a little over 2 hours.
So this whole time that we've been sitting here, like 2 hours, Chrys has been like crisscross applesauce on the crisscross applesauce on the floor. knitting like their life depends on it. You guys have never seen Chrys so focused on something in the few hours that you have known her. Before we leave, Chrys is going to go up to Morin. Do you have your like whip with you? Or whatever it is, your grappling hook?
Yeah, my grappling hook is always hooked onto the right side of my belt, kind of looped up.
Does it have like a handle at the end? Or is it just a rope?
There's a spot of the rope that's like a little thicker, so a little easier to hold on to in case I disconnect it from the belt and need to actually just hold on to it.
Okay. In that case, oh, it's just a loop. You said, sorry,
I think it's more like a thicker knot like situation where it's like a handle, but it's still like rope.
The end of the one end of the rope that doesn't have the hook on it, the whole thing is kind of looped up in order to stay secure on my side, but the end of it that doesn't have the hook on it it looks like the rope has just been kind of tied over itself a few times to make it a thicker handhold.
Okay. So is Morin wearing any gloves of any sort?
Yeah, she usually has little like leather fingerless gloves on.
So Chrys kind of comes up to you and says, hello, Morin. Are you doing better now?
From before when I was bleeding out? Yes, I am.
Well, yes, then, and also in the tunnel.
Oh, yeah, no, I've cooled down and settled down, and thank you for that, by the way. I felt the guidance when you placed your hand on me earlier.
Yes, I was hoping that would be helpful. I didn't want to do it if it was going to make it worse, but I'm glad it was of help. I made you something while you were out, um, here, and they kind of hand you like, it almost looks like a little, it's like a little, you know how people can like knit little like doinglies?
Doilies?
Doilies?
Yeah,
Doily?
doilies. I can't speak today. I'm
You're all
so
good.
sorry, everyone.
You're all good. I think they
No,
should
I
be
mean,
called
don't.
doinglies from now on.
I was about to say, who doesn't know a good doingly or two? You know, it's
Doily. And like you can like make a little like design on it, and it's like a little thing you can hang from something. Um, so I saw that you have that thing on your waist. Um, I I made a little thing you can put on the end of it. Um, and uh it has like it has like your initial and M embroidered on it or put on it, like little knitted on it. Um and I put a protective spell in it for you. So if you should be um not doing so well again, you you can use it and feel better. It's cure wounds for mechanical purposes. First level. But yeah.
Oh my goodness. And Morn will look down at it for a minute and study it in silence for like a solid 30 seconds. And then look back up at you. Chrys, your character is pure. And I will do my best to defend that for as long as we know each other.
Oh, thank you very much, I think.
Yes. Thank you.
Chrys does their little broken ass smile.
And Warren will quietly start figuring out how to attach it to the end of her grappling hook.
And then Chrys is gonna walk over to Ateria and say, I don't know much, especially not about whatever is happening with you. I understand it is scary for you. So I also made you something, and Chrys hands her like a little pair of knitted gloves, and says, if you feel the need to quickly get away from whatever is happening, these are imbued with magic and can help you. Mechanically, it's a Misty Step spell in the thing.
Oh. Uh, thank you. This is too nice.
I hope that it goes well for you where you are headed. I understand that you are going away.
Yeah, do you need another favor or something?
Oh no, nothing like that. I just wanted to give you this.
Oh. Uh, well, that's real nice of you. It's, gosh, sorry, it's been such a long day. I don't really know what to say. Just thanks.
You are welcome, Miss Eteria.
Yeah. Uh, you're nice, Chrys. Don't lose that.
I will do my best.
Sure you will. Alright, take care. I
Could I-
guess we got some time to kill, right, everybody?
Could I try to get a read on that whole reaction real quick?
Oh, sure. Do an insight check for me.
Yippee! Okay, let's see how that goes. I don't deserve this. I don't. This die needs to stop being good. Insight check, that's gonna be a 21, 18 plus 3.
Ooh. What specifically are you trying to glean?
I'm trying to glean kind of the emotional tone behind her reaction to Chris's offer of genuine kindness, because it seemed like there could be like a tinge of guilt there, and I'm trying to glean if she's still up to some nonsense and feels bad about it.
You are correct in detecting guilt, but there's layers to it. The most prevalent of which is deep down, Eteria believes that any kindness shown to her is wasted. That is the most ever present feeling. She does not believe she deserves this kindness, and anyone going out of their way beyond like what she paid them to do for her benefit is making her deeply uncomfortable, because she just truly in her deepest heart of hearts does not believe that she's worth it or worth the effort. With above a 20, you see that there is also a deeper layer of guilt, of not only does she not deserve this kindness, but she feels like she is bad for Chrys to be around. You can't read her mind, you can't read into like what that guilt is tied to, but she is telling Chrys to hold on to that niceness and that goodness, and is grateful that she will be out of Chrys's life very soon. I'll say above a 20, this is sort of what you glean.
Okay then. And with that whole conversation terminating, I think Rook is gonna kind of set down the pipe for a sec and walk into his room. Door's gonna close, and then anyone who's particularly listening is just gonna hear like the sound of like clothes hangers shuffling and like drawers moving around.
Not to be crass, but payment. I know that if I was in your position, I would want a guarantee that we would get you to where you're going safely. But I also know that the information that we're taking as payment is sensitive. And you probably don't want to be spilling it at some hatchway before we make it outside. Would you like to tell us here? I can swear to you we'll get you to your destination safely.
I don't really feel comfortable saying it. Yeah, the people are nice, but I didn't make any promises to the floater or the witch. I would need more privacy, and I think maybe the best time to tell you the worst information you're ever gonna learn is right before I get out of Dodge.
All right.
But I'm gonna tell you part of it now and part of it then, right?
As you want.
But just you.
Okay. We can go in the bathroom.
So at this point, Rook emerges from the room with kind of a neatly folded stack of different clothes from his closet. And he looks at Atari and just goes, several orders of business. Just briefly getting things out in the air. Starters, it's been a long day. And people probably know you a bit by the way you dress. At least the kinds of people that you're talking about having a run-in with. So, take these, do what you will. Clean yourself up, get a change, whatever you need. It'll help. It'll help you stay out of sight. Anything like that. 2. I'm sure you remember how I initially got on you in the first place. I kind of need a bit more to follow up on than that. Because there's still a dead woman, and it's still my job to follow up. After all, this is just business, and I know I've butt in on to your business, but I still got my own job to do, and unfortunately, you are heavily tangled up in that. So for both our sakes, it would really work better for everyone involved if I could get the information that I need as well, considering that, not to talk myself up too much, but I did do a substantial job in deterring the lieutenant back there.
All I told you is I would tell you who I saw. Who I saw going up into Phyllis's office looking for her were a group of thugs. They work for the cousins. I don't even know their God's given names. But
Stop. Takes his pipe, takes a long drag, blows it down on the ground, and it kind of just spirals out in this ominous kind of pinkish, bluish smoke on the ground that almost just settles and just sits there. And I'm casting Zone of Truth again. So I would like Ateria to make a saving throw.
what is your save?
Zone of Truth would be a Charisma save, DC 14.
She succeeds.
Really wish that would work better. Whatever. Well, look, I've tried to help you as honestly as I can, but it seems that you don't have much of a bone in your body for helping others or being very honest in your life, so... Unfortunately, you seem to be getting more help than you do. And that is my honest opinion of you, quite frankly. You have a group of people here bending over backwards for you. And quite frankly, I would be unaffected if I sent you out of here right now with all the dangers that's hot on your trail. None of us have to be helping you, except the one that's explicitly hired to do so. So it seems to me, from where I'm standing, that you're taking a lot of folk for granted. Quite frankly, you might want to rethink that. Doesn't seem like it's gotten you very far in life.
All right, Mr. Rook. I can leave, if that's what you want.
Never said that's what I want. I said that's what could be fair. Luckily for you, though, you have wandered into 5 of the saps on this hunk of rock that seem to have a generous bone in their body. Take the clothing, take the shelter, take whatever. But
Floated. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for anyone to be nice to me. I offered to pay people to help me. I only wanted what I paid for, which wasn't you, which wasn't the floater girl or the dead guy. None of that is what I asked for. I didn't ask for people to go out of their way and risk their jobs for me. I didn't ask for you to tag along and help me with the frickin' detective. I could have handled the detective somehow, I'm sure. Or maybe I wouldn't have. Maybe he would have taken me in and turned me over to whoever wants me. I don't care, right? The God's given truth that you want so bad, I don't need a frickin' circle to tell you. I fully intend to be dead by the end of the day tomorrow. That's what I want. I just want to see the sun first. There is no happy ending for me at the end of this road, Mr. Rook. That is not what I want. That is not what I intend. And any kindness anyone shows to me is wasted because they're wasted on a dead broad. All right? That's the truth of it. And God's forbid I hold some of that close to my chest because it's a little bit heavy to deal with. It's a little bit heavy to live this life, sir. And I know you've suffered, and I know they've suffered. I know everybody has suffered. But believe me when I say I have suffered for a long, long, God's forsaken time on this stupid drifting rock, and I'm done. And I want to go out on my terms. And maybe I could have been a little more transparent with you, maybe. But what have you done to really deserve that? From the moment you met me, you accosted me, cast spells on me, acted all suspicious. How do I know that you were really hired to solve Phyllis's death? Maybe you were just hired to find me. Why do I trust you? I don't. I don't actually trust any of you except maybe the angel over there. I have had a rough day and a rough life. And I didn't need your kindness. No one's ever shown it to me before. So take your haughty attitude, shove it up where the void don't shine, and leave me the hells alone. Just for a goddamn minute while I go talk to Valentine in the bathroom. All right? All right. Valentine, come here.
Valentine just kind of drifts after her.
Eteria shuts the door, slams it, turns on the faucet, and she'll have a conversation with Valentine that the rest of you won't be privy to.
The Drifting City is a production of The Rolling Waves, a group of friends who wanted to make a creative project together. Your drifters are Lily Bell as Chrys, Aspen Langford as Morin, Porter Hurst as Orion, Victor Thorne as Rook, Marilyn David as Valentine, and Ray Hamilton as the narrator. Editing and sound design by everyone at The Rolling Waves. Episode titles and descriptions by everyone at the Rolling Waves. Music, sound effect, class, subclass, and other credits can be found in the episode description. Thank you for listening to our story.
And that's where we'll end this episode.
Ooh.
And it all comes out.